Dun, dun, dun. Hello, beautiful people. It's me, Robyn Carpenter Briscoe, your favorite spiritual life coach. Welcome to Illimitable Living Sessions with Robyn. I am so grateful to be here. I am grateful that we are getting to spend some time together. I'm grateful that we are getting to talk about how and ways that you can create the illimitable life that you were born to live. Say it with me. I am illimitable. Illimitable. Yes. It means unable to limit, right? So if we're going to live in that consciousness that we have no limits, that is not even a thing. Like it's not, it literally means that there's no way to limit you because you don't, that is not a capability. So if that is our truth, then how do we live by that truth every day? Excuse me. So you may or may not know, I can't imagine how you don't, but if you just happened to find me, welcome, and you've not experienced me before, something that is important to know about me is that I'm always doing something. I'm the author of this book right here. Let's Get Stoned. Can you see it? There's kind of a glare. Let's Get Stoned, using stones and crystals to create a life that rocks. Yes, that is my book, and that is about stones and crystals. Now, you'll notice it's quite thin, right? Because it is not a book of stones and crystals. It is not even a book about stones and crystals. It is a book about you using stones and crystals. That is why it says using stones and crystals to create a life that rocks. Hashtag create a life that rocks, right? Make sure you use it. But what's the deal? So I want to go back. I want to tell you a story. I was 27. Yeah, 27 years old. Ish, something. I don't know, something like that. And I was in this store. I tell the story in my book. And if you've seen me speak, you've probably heard me tell this story. But it's what we're talking about today. Why stones and crystals? What today's topic is, what's the big deal? Like, why stones and crystals? Why is this so important to me that I wrote a book about it and I'm always talking about it? So what's the deal? So we have to go back kind of to the beginning of my awakening. Yes, this is my awakening story. So I'm in the West Village of New York City, and I'm in this jewelry store. Go figure. I love jewelry. So I'm in a jewelry store, and I'm looking through all, and I'm like oohing and eyeing over all of these rings and trying. And this woman is there helping us. I probably have it in the book. This woman is there helping us, and I'm oohing and eyeing over everything, and I pick up this amber ring. And the woman behind the counter took out a book and started reading the properties of amber. Increases life force, finding inner freedom, energetic protection from negative forces. Those I took from the Pocket Book of Stones. I'm reading it out of my book, but I took those quotes from the Pocket Book of Stones. And like, as I said in the book, sign me up. Inner freedom. I want that. I want this like sense of self. So amber it was. I bought that stone. I bought that ring. I don't have it anymore. That's another story for another day. But I was in. I had no idea that stones and crystals had these like properties, that had these intentions, that had these things that were connected to them that had nothing to do with their monetary value. Right? The joke I always tell is I always looked at stones and crystals as like space holders until my diamonds arrived, which is true. Then I found out that these precious and semi-precious, these semi-precious, quote unquote, semi-precious stones had an value that had nothing to do with their intrinsic monetary value. And that is also relative, right? If you live in a place where every pebble around every other pebble or every, is like watermelon tourmaline. I choose that because that's a really expensive stone. And generally you only get really small pieces because those really big pieces are just stratospherically expensive. But you're in a place where they come from, right? Where they mine them, where they find them. And they're everywhere. It's like whatever, watermelon tourmaline. It stops being valuable, right? So everything is an intrinsic value. Some things are across the board valuable to everyone. Gold, diamonds, those things, silver, are everybody across the planet thinks that they are valuable. But other things, not so much. Depends on, if it's important to you or not. So anyway, so there I was freaking out. I was like, what is this? What is this? And that is really what started me. And that is 20 plus years ago that I found this out. And I haven't stopped since. Because holy crap, stones and crystals are a thing. And when I started doing the research, it's a thing, and it's been a thing forever. Like ever and ever. People, as long as there have been people, have been using stones and crystals as part of their spiritual practice, as part of their daily activity to connect to source energy. No matter where on the planet you look, no matter what the culture is from that area of the planet that you look, no matter what spiritual or religious traditions that you look at, there are uses and descriptions in their holy texts about stones and crystals. I was blown away. Just like I said in the book. Here, sorry. I put it down and I lost my page. So the deal is like, what's the deal? Why do we care? Everywhere you look, a stone or crystal has some sort of message for you in something that you are looking to work on. That is why we do this. That is why it's so important. That is why this is what's important. So in my hand right now, where is it? This is a popolite. So I've had this for a while. I found it needs to be cleaned. I love this stone. This is also a popolite. Its message for you is perfection is my natural state of being. So I can go around and round about all the different kinds of stones and what their message is for you. Look, there's rose quartz. Rose quartz is universal love, unconditional love. Anytime that you're thinking about looking at a stone or crystal, there is some sort of intent or message of goodness and alignment and rightness to be had. And if you are looking at needing help with those kinds of things, using a stone or crystal is the perfect way to do it. Because why? Because it's something you can do for yourself, and it is not something that you then have to look to anybody else to help you with. As someone who teaches people, I'm telling you, you need things that you can do yourself. I can't always be there. Whoever you work with can't always be there. Your therapist can't always be there. Whoever you turn to help you discern things, remember things, feel things, understand things, all the things. Any source outside of self that you look to help you with whatever it is that you need help with in your life will not always be there, right? Even the stone or crystal itself. However, something like a stone or crystal that you can use every day, you can sit and understand and say to yourself, perfection is my natural state of being. Even when you don't have the stone with you, you can remind yourself of that, and you can get right back to that place because you have been regularly, daily sitting with a stone or crystal and saying that to yourself. If you have trouble meditating, a stone or crystal is the best thing you could ever use to help you get better at something like that, because that is all you have to focus on. If you want to focus yourself on the understanding that you are unconditional love in action. I am unconditional love in action. Hold that stone. Close your eyes. Repeat in your head over and over and over and over. I am unconditional love in action. Even when these little voices on the side go, no, you're not. Look what you did to such and such. You're a crab ass all the time. You're a blah, blah, blah. Look at that. Wasn't very loving. Like, there's going to be stuff because it's going to, there's always some sort of dissonance when you are shifting your energy. Yes. So there's always going to be some pushback, because if you are shifting and expanding, I want us to do less talk about growing and more talk about expansion. Okay. So if we're expanding into our understanding of our illimitable selves, yes, if we are doing that, then there's going to be some stuff we're going to butt up against because we've never been that big before. Our energy has never been that wide before. We have never had that conscious understanding of that. So there is going to be subconscious stuff that is going to pop up and butt up against it. And the stone helps you remember. The stone helps you reconnect to that when your mind is telling you something differently, when someone outside of you is telling you something differently. You're like, nope, I am unconditional love in action. Perfection is my natural state of being. This is my truth. Sit with that over and over. So even if you don't ever feel like you can get to the place where you quiet your mind enough to still all things in a peaceful way, this repetition, this mantra, this repeating of mantra is meditative in and of itself. Not all meditation is sitting under a tree, and some of it's chanting, yes? Some of it's mantra. So each thing is there to help you with that connection to source, that peace within, that illimitable understanding of your, that you are plugged into consciousness of all that is. So by connecting to that and finding a connection to that, that is how you move forward. Yes? Yes. And I forgot the thing that I needed for my announcement out there. Hold on. Announcement. The announcement is here. Yes? Where's my paper? It's here and I am back. Okay, here we are. I did this morning. Anyway, the announcement is about this year's 5 stones. If you recall, last year I did 5 stones that were top 5 stones and crystals for 2020. They were apophyllite, tangerine quartz. I don't remember. Those are the 2 that popped up on the top of my head right there. There are videos about it, so I get to, but that was last year. We're talking about this year. This year, we have 5 new stones, and I'm calling these the success stones. I'm calling these the success stones for 2021. And the reason I like the idea of having success stones is that that is 100% up to you, right? Your understanding of what success is a completely made up thing. So how you define success this year, especially since so many things are different now than they were at this time last year, that a new definition of success is necessary because we are living in a new time period. So stop lamenting about what was, because it doesn't exist anymore. This is now. Now is now, and now is not before. So what are we going to do about it? This is what we're going to do about it. We're going to use these 5 stones. First, lapis lazuli, or lapis lazuli, or lapis lapis. No, I don't know. People say it all kinds of different ways, but that is lapis. You've probably seen it before. Something to note, there's a difference in the easiest way to tell between sodalite, which is what this is, and lapis, which is what this is that sodalite does not have something that lapis does, or lapis has something that sodalite doesn't, whichever. Lapis has flecks of gold running through it because it's pyrite. So if you recall, you may not recall because you may not have seen the video. A few days ago, I was talking about pyrite in my other videos in the magic and the crystals. I call it the billionaire stone. What? Yeah, you'll have to go over there and check it out. But the differentiation is when you're looking at them, because sometimes depending on where they cut the stone when they pulled it out of the ground, will depend on what it looks like, right? So some will be like very, very, very blue, and something. There are nuances to the blues, and there are all of these things that are you can tell when you sit them next to each other. But sometimes you don't have that, and sometimes lapis doesn't look like you think. This is a very traditional looking lapis. There are also much brighter, like almost peacock blue, bright lapis. So they all have pyrite running through them. So lapis is the stone of your inner queen. Your inner queen. All people have an inner queen. It is their wisdom. It is that harmonious peace and stillness, wise and knowledgeable, trustworthy. Because your inner queen is so what's a queen really, right? Queen is a ruler usually. Often though, they are often considered in connection to a king, yes? And the king is usually the warrior that goes out and defends and does the things, mighty, this, like that. But the queen is the one that is the conscience of the country, of the kingdom. Their sovereign queen is the one that holds the wisdom for the people. So if your inner queen is the queen of your kingdom, your body, your queendom, your nest, then it is the wisdom of yourself. It is connecting to your inner wisdom, your inner nest. And when you think about being a queen, you sit up a little, like, get better posture. So this is jade. This is nephrite jade. This is some jade, depends. It's, different places in the world. Properties of jade are very similar, based on your color. So jade is good fortune and gratitude. Good fortune and gratitude. What could be wrong with that ever, right? These are the things that if you're going to have a successful year, then yes, good fortune. Also, gratitude. Gratitude every time something good happens. Every time you use your wisdom and make a good decision for you, and the outcome is something that you really appreciate. Good fortune and gratitude. These go hand in hand. I am grateful for my good fortune. I have good fortune because I am grateful. Right? And now, third stone. What? Pyrite. See how I did that? Sneaked it in there like I wasn't going to talk about it more. Yes, pyrite. I love this. This makes me feel, I don't know, something about these nuggets like this versus the cubes. I have a big one too, but these nuggets like this, they always feel extra precious to me. Like I can hold this gold in my hand, and it's got all kinds of facets and sparklinesses. It looks much more like a gold nugget. And I know that it has been called fool's gold. However, there is nothing foolish about pyrite. Pyrite is its message is for you grounded magnificence. Right? Remember, we are talking about being illimitable. We are talking about shining in that space of like, dun, 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 Robyn. Or whoever you are, say your name, fill your name in here. That we need to be grounded in that understanding of our magnificence. We need to know that we know that we know. We need to know, and we have to know that we know. And then we have to know that we know that we know. Think about it. Because sometimes you know stuff, but you don't really pay any attention to it, right? And sometimes you know that you know stuff, and now you know that you know this. It's still just not clicking, right? It's still not happening. It's still not coming to fruition, although you know that you know. So if that's the case, then what you need is one more knowing. You need to know that you know that you know, because then you can do it. You can live it. You can be it. It's that last step. First, you have to be like, yeah, I'm fucking awesome. And then you don't hear the voices behind you or within you saying, no, not really. What about this and this and this? What about this, this, and this? And you don't have to pretend that you don't know. You don't have to pretend that although you know that you know, I'm still not doing the thing. You can know that you know that you know. You can ground yourself fully and completely in knowing that you are this magnificent, illimitable force of self. That is why I call it a billionaire mindset, because billionaire mindset stone means that you're like, you literally, there's nothing that you think that you cannot have, do, or be at any given time, because you have, think about that. If you had $1 billion, if you had $1 billion, is there anything in your life right now that you think you couldn't do? That is something for your life that is doesn't have, like, see, I have to always throw that, bring people back. You can't, regardless of how much money someone has, if someone has gone, they're gone. So let's not have that conversation, because it's not really getting us anywhere. And it's really just no point in throwing that in the mix. Well, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't bring so-and-so back. It wouldn't matter. I wouldn't have this back. It's like, okay, so right there, it doesn't matter. Moving on. When a billionaire has a challenge, they know that somewhere there's a solution, because they are plugged in to the consciousness. They know that there is if there is a problem, there is a solution. And they know that regardless of what it takes, they have the ability to be able to take care of it. And the reality is that is true for everyone. That is true for everyone. We are all billionaires because we are heartbeat billionaires. And if you want to know more about that, you're going to either have to check out the video I did a couple weeks, last week or whenever I did it, or look up Lenny Kravitz right now. Well, not right now because we're talking right now, but after we finish. Anyway, Pyrite is your grounded magnificence. Then we have Larimar. This is a really fine piece, actually. There are some that have more of the outside stone on it, so they're bigger and more hefty. I have a piece of Larimar that it's a pendant that was we purchased. Larimar is only available in the Dominican Republic, so it is a very specific source. Larimar's message is world love communication. So I want you to think about this. If we are illimitable beings and we are to have success in our life in this time that we are now living, it cannot be without a massive expression of love, because people are going to need love, and to receive love and understand that the point is love. Yes. And for us to live as our most illimitable selves, we must be fully and connected to love. I just talked about rose quartz. And it is, I am love in action. I am unconditional love in action, right? This is world love communication. So this, when I was saying it, is about action that you're taking. You are love in action. This is communicating love. This means this stone helps you speak words of love. First to self, then to others. Because this is world love communication. So it is an expanded expression of love. It is not simply an expanded feeling of love. It is expanded expression of love. And if you are living a life as an illimitable being, that means you are expressing your true and authentic self. You are living in spiritual empowerment. Yes, you are living the freedom of your life as your authentic self without fear or apology. So if you are living a life of spiritual empowerment, you are living this life as your illimitable self. That illimitability has to be also an expression of love for all things and all people at all times. It has to. There is no way to be fully in flow and in alignment without it. There will always be a except for so-and-so, except for that person, except for this. Cannot be that. There cannot be exceptions to love. Love is the way. Love is the way. And it has to be expressed. The same way people, one of the love languages is, words that because people need to hear it. People need to hear it, and you need to express it. It is not simply for others to receive, it is also for you to give. There has to be a reciprocal situation going on. That is what love is the way. This is what, hello, rose-colored glasses. Remember, I'm the one. So our last stone, it's a crystal actually, and it's small. It's small in comparison to all the others for most of them that are available. This is a Herkimer diamond. Well, technically these are Packimer diamonds because they come from Pakistan, but Herkimer diamonds are from Herkimer, New York. It's an actual location. The name is a location. How at the same time, what they're referring to is a specific kinds of quartz crystal because it's not actually a diamond at all. Although when you see them on my desk, if you look at my Instagram and you see them separated on my desk, you can't really see it here, but they have these really cool, they're what they call double tourmalated, which means they are pointy on both ends. It's how they grow in the ground, and that's how they're found. And it's this amazing thing. And they're beautiful. I'm ordering one for a ring. They're fantastic. The reason that I have Packimer diamonds versus Herkimer diamonds is the ones in Herkimer, actually from Herkimer, New York, are much more expensive than the ones they are finding in Pakistan. The ones in Herkimer, New York are really, really, really fine, like fine, precious gem fine. So they're much more expensive. And for our use, it doesn't have to be super fine to use the intentions, right? We're looking at using the energy so and connecting to the intention, so they don't necessarily have to be fine in order to work. So Herkimer diamonds are clear, connected manifestation. So what could possibly not be necessary for success in that statement? Clear, connected manifestation. You have to have a clear understanding of who you are, where you're going, what you're about, what the point is, all that. You have to have clarity, right? And it has to be consciousness, clarity of consciousness. It can't just be clarity of self. It has to be clarity of your understanding of all things, right? You are connected. You are connected to source. You are connected to self. You are connected. You are plugged in to your community, to your emotions, to your physical self. You are plugged into the, your spiritual nature. You are plugged in to your relationship health. You are plugged into all the things. You are connected. All the things in all the ways. Because this is a manifestation stone. This is about doing the thing and doing it well and doing it at with your billionaire mindset, right? So it's not just doing a small thing, it's doing an illimitable thing. It is doing all the things. And the way we do all the things is connect to our illimitable selves. So those are the 5 stones for 2021, the success stones. This year are the success stones. Last year were just the top 5 stones. These are for your successful year. So this year we have a kit just like we did last year. All your little stones come in this little bag, and you get a little journal because sometimes you need this tiny little journal to carry with you everywhere when you have a thought. And yes, putting it on your phone is good, but you also have to look back at your phone. Putting it on, writing it, there's literally a thing that happens when you write things down. I know we've talked about this before. So if it is possible to write it down, figure out a way to write it down. And this is a great place to put it. Then you get all of the stones. You only get one. The Herkimer diamonds are small, and they'll be inside of something inside of the bag because they're small and they're mighty. This year, the kit is $55 shipped. It's $55 shipped, and you get all of those stones. I am ready to ship them to you. If you saw the video earlier, that I posted a couple days ago, you saw there's a whole package available right now with sessions with me, with charging the stones and all of those kinds of things. And that's fantastic. It is not necessarily do all that. You can simply purchase the kit. When they're gone, they're gone. Until I can order more. You should understand that, as I said, Larimar is only available in the Dominican Republic. So I literally only have 22 Larimar right now, and finding more could prove to be a challenge. So if you want my kit, then it would be best to get it all together now rather than later. If you are saying, no, I don't need all the things, or I have someplace I can go, then you should go get them. But now you know what the 5 stones that I've chosen as success for a successful 2021. Again, it is all about living an illimitable life. Yes, friends, because you are illimitable. So if this is your first time here, if you listened to this before but hadn't decided that it's time, then now is the time to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can get notifications every time I go live or anytime something new pops up. I love you very much. I am very, very grateful for you. I have a guest on next week's Illimitable Living sessions. I'm super excited. So make sure that you check the post. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. That's where I make those kinds of announcements. On Twitter, I'm Goddess of Joy, no matter where you look. I'm grateful for you to be here with me today. Remember, you are illimitable, my friends. So go out and create a life that rocks. See you next week. Bye.